Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today we are doing a Beast review. Now I didn't think I was going to be able to do a review on Beast this early because I still had one of his gears left before I could tier 2 him. Then this happened. Nice, okay. If we get lucky here, we can tier 2 him today. We have to get super lucky. We have to get this in 6 tries or less. Alright? No! What? So I got extremely lucky, so we are lucky to now bask in the glory that is Tier 2 Beast. The final X-Men has been leveled up and geared up. We're still missing an Obelisk like we have missing for Storm and Rogue, but let's jump into the review for Beast and see the kind of forgotten X-Men that you don't need for Jean Grey, but that you should probably still invest in because he's an awesome and quite strong combat character. So the pros of Beast are that he has a crazy 5th skill which boosts all attack, all defense, and all speed, and it also gives him ignore defense, and you can pass that on to other teammates, so it is a buffable pass skill like a Werewolf skill. He's also got an insane 4th skill with long iframes and lightning damage that you can build up with an Obelisk or a team bonus like Lincoln's Leadership or something like that. And also he's Beast, guys. His tier 2 passive does also apply to all allies, so he has that going for him in kind of a pseudo support role, but he does definitely hold his own along with that 45% physical attack leadership that we don't have many of in the game. The cons of Beast are that he doesn't have a lot of iframes, he doesn't have a lot of other survivability outside of that 5th skill and whatever manual play you can give him, and so he's kind of lacking that debuff or buff, heal, invulnerability meta that we see in a lot of other characters, but I still think he's a serviceable, X-Men. As far as the skill goes, his 1, 2, and 3 are just basic attacks. They do have some different movement to them, so you can experiment with that. The 1 is very simple. It's literally just 1 dash forward, about a square, and then a slash. But you can experiment with those, especially in Shadowlands. His 4th skill, or his 4-star passive, gives him an all-attack, all-speed crit rate buff when he drops below 65% health. Keep the attack speed in mind because it is going to come up a lot. And that basically is up all the time because it's got a cooldown of 3 seconds, but it lasts for 10 seconds. His 4th skill is extremely strong. It does lightning damage, it has a bind, and it's almost a perfect iframe, and it lasts a very long time, and it's only on a 5-second cooldown when you get max skill cooldown, so you can rotate through this skill a lot. His most notable skill, Stars and Garters, has a huge buff, as we talked about, 55% all attack, 70% all defense, and 20% all speed. So we see that all speed again coming up. You definitely want to rank up this skill to level 6 if you have the gold. On top of it, it has that 30% ignore defense, which is huge. That all lasts for 15 out of 20 seconds. So you get this buff almost all the time if you're playing as Beast. It also has a stun. So if you use this in Shadowlands, you basically get your next attack for free because the enemies are busy stunned. It doesn't say it on the skill here, but you will see if you play it that it does stun. In addition, we know he has the leadership, which is pretty bananas. The tier 2 passive is honestly not very good. The good part about it, or the redeeming quality of it, is the 15% reduced damage incoming, which is nice to make him a bit beefier, a bit tankier, and it synergizes well with the all defense, 70%. I'd keep wanting to say that number because it's so high. But the recovery rate and the guaranteed crit are meaningless. 10% is nothing, 8% is next to nothing. Overall, I think he has okay skills. I would like to see an extra iframe or an extra stun on one of his first 3 skills to kind of round out the character more, but he's still a beast, pun intended, for Shadowland. A rotation would probably start with him opening with the 5 to get that buff, to get things rolling, and to get that stun. Then move on into the 3 and the 2. I would skip the 1 totally. It's a very low damage, low impact skill. And then end with the 4. You end with the 4 to try and stall until you can use the 5 again, or until you can string together some of his other skills in order to continue doing damage with him. He's not going to be really usable for ABX, so this skill rotation you can play with, but you definitely want to start with the 5 and end with the 4 if you can. As far as the gear goes for Hank McCoy, physical attack and HP on the first slot is great. All defense, crit damage, again, 2 premium stats there. Crowd control time and crit rate, not ideal, but that's okay. And then finally, skill cooldown and movement speed. So because he has HP on a secondary slot, he can't have HP on a first slot, a primary slot, which gives more. So that's a bit of a disappointment, but he does have the all defense and the skill cooldown primary. That's nice. He's just missing ignore defense, but keep in mind he does get 30% from that 5th skill if you are going to be using him and using that skill frequently, and if you have it at level 6. You want to obviously roll these gears accordingly. I have the 3rd one rolled there at 50.5% on physical attack. You want to roll that again and change that to all attack or physical attack. I just haven't changed it myself. Same thing with the 3rd slot for HP. You want to make that a flat number and not a percentage. And then the last gear is probably going to be a mix of ignore defense and some skill cooldown. You want to hit the cap on the skill cooldown, but it's not going to take you a lot of effort. On the one hand, it's not necessary, or it may not be most efficient to max out his ignore defense from this 4th gear or from his Uru, because he gets 30%. However, for the times that you can't cast the skill because you're silenced or because it's on cooldown, those 5 seconds that are there, it might be good to have some ignore defense so that he's not seeing a huge drop off in his damage in that gap of time before he can cast that 5th skill again. Or if you have a situation where you don't have max skill cooldown, you're going to see a longer wait time to use Stars and Garters again, his 5th skill. So that's when you want to invest more in ignore defense on this 4th skill. As far as the Uru go, you guys can see I've already equipped the 2 physical attack slots. That's definitely going to be the starting point for your Uru for Beast. The next 2 I would suggest to be HP, to build on his defense and his tankiness, but you could go with crit damage if you wanted him to output more, because he doesn't have a lot of crit damage natively. And then the last slot, that 5th slot, is probably best served for ignore defense or crit rate, whatever you want to see more of from Beast. Or if you went for crit damage on the second 2 slots, you could put HP in that 5th slot. As far as the Obelisk goes for Beast, I will give you 2 options. The defensive option is the one that I think is more valuable, because I don't see Beast being meta for PvE content, so he doesn't need that damage proc. Looking at it defensively, I think that something along the lines of max HP, all defense, and invincibility would be ideal for Beast. I don't have exactly that. I have something pretty close with max HP, crit damage, invincibility, but I think that would be the best option for Beast. This is also quite close. Because he natively has high defense, he maxes that out even further with his 5th skill, and he has high HP. So you can pull off some pretty crazy all defense numbers. I would say even above Amadeus Cho with his uniform and his new 5th skill that buffs his all defense, in addition to his damage reduction at tier 2. I think it would be similar to him, if not tankier. And so you can imagine from the numbers that you see on Cho when he's getting hit by the world boss, just how little damage Beast is going to take if you fully tank him out with an Obelisk like that. But if you want to go more offensive for Beast, I would suggest going with something like crit rate, crit damage, and a damage proc. Now I know that's an Obelisk that's probably better served for someone like Sharon Rogers. There are definitely other targets for that, but Beast does have some synergy with the crit rate and the crit damage because of his tier 2 passive and because of his 4-star skill, which gives him that crit rate 3%. It's not a lot, but it is going to make him more offensive. As far as the ISO set goes, even if you go defensive, I do think you should go offensive with the ISO set, because otherwise Beast might struggle to do damage a little bit, even in PvP modes, and I don't think he needs an HP shield. I mean, you could go for something like Drastic Density Enhancement, but I think something like Overdrive is fine. I don't recommend Hawk's Eye, because on his gear, on that 4th gear, he has skill cooldown, and unfortunately I can't really efficiently recommend Power of Angry Hulk because it gives attack speed. And as we talked about before, and I told you guys to remember, he gets attack speed from his 4th skill. He gets it, or his 4-star passive. He gets attack speed from his 5th skill. So he just gets too much attack speed to need any more. He also has attack speed on his ability. So he's almost maxed out once you cast his 5th skill at the beginning of a fight. He's already at 130%. So you really don't need Power of Angry Hulk. Overdrive would be ideal. If you want to go super ultra defensive, Drastic Density would probably be your best bet for him, but I do think he needs just a little bit of help in the damage department in order to do reasonable DPS and actually kill his opponent before he gets killed. I think Binary Power is a bit too defensive for Beast. As far as where you can farm him, I have been farming Beast up until now in the Epic Quest, if Rise of the X-Men. Go over to the tracking mission, and it's in Friends and Enemies. I've been getting about 11.5 to 12.5 bows per day, so it's a bit of a slow grind, but it is worth it once you get the Big Blue Beast unlocked and ranked up, especially to synergize with Wolverine. It's very awesome to see the two of them communicating, especially in-game with the chat bubbles. I actually love it. I want to leave you guys now with a clip of Beast taking on a world boss. I had a little bit of fun with him very recently after I tier 2'd him. His showing against Thanos is not super impressive, but I still wanted to show you guys, to highlight the character's skill rotation, to show you guys what you can aim for if you want to build up your Beast, and what kind of output you can you know, get from him. Okay, let's try that again. I hate that punch so much, dude. Nice. Come on. Okay. Oh. Why is he interrupting me in the middle of the iframe? That's really annoying, dude. I actually hate that. These impartial iframes. Going a lot better. Yeah, the rumbles are so easy for him. It's crazy. See, he punches me straight in the middle of the iframe, dude. That's broken. That's bad. Can't see what's going on. Thanks, Giant Man. Woo! Dunked. So the damage was not great, but there was no damage leadership. Just health leadership. There was one physical attack team-up bonus. So let me know what you think of my Beast review. Let me know what you think of all the X-Men now that we've reviewed the whole lot and we have everybody accounted for. And of course, guys, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.